you. I will finish this race, not alone, by myself, but with you. Though tough times come, I will not waver. We will rise and we conquer new ground. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and we say we know I can fight, it's for you as it has been for me. Everyone shine, everyone shine. All of the place for a reason, for a greater design. We will rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and let's say we know I can fight, it's for you as it has been for me. We will stand up and rise together. We will march into victory. Hold my hand and let's say we know I can fight, it's for you as it has been for me.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tremendous Thursday. It's good to have you guys once again. And if you are listening in right now, put a number 1 right down there so I can see all of you beautiful people coming in and listening in. So today I want to talk to you guys about a very, very important perspective, a very, very important role in our daily lives, and especially in our teams, the head of every team, and that is leadership. And the 4 crucial C's that every leader needs to develop in themselves or to have to become a true, really awesome leader. All right. So that being said, let's jump into the presentation and get this show started. All right. Awesome. So, guys, leadership is super important in every aspect, and learning to be a leader isn't just something that is important for you to have in a team, but also for your own personal development, because learning to be a leader creates something inside of you that allows you to understand that I'm confident enough to do anything, and I'm committed enough to do and jump in to do anything that I want to do. So it develops everything else in your life as well. It helps you reach your visions, it helps you reach your goals, and it generally is the road to leadership is a very fulfilling and self-developing road. So we want to talk about that, and we want to talk about these 4 crucial C's that are super important to becoming a leader. All right. So before we jump into it, leadership is seen as a very mandatory skill for success and necessary characteristics for a prosperous future. Now, that being said, many think that leaders are not just born. They're just born and they're not, made through anything. And some other people, some people do have leadership characteristics, but they don't even know about it. Right. And at the same time, there are scientists and, people out there, business people as well, trying to find a formula to understand exactly how you can be a leader and how you can grow to be a leader. All right. So I just want to tell you guys, no, leaders are not born. I mean, they are made through different kinds of, self-development. Sure, there are one in a million. There's like a genius in there that's, a born leader, but anyone can. All right. So 4 characteristics of a leader. What are these characteristics? First off, these are all related. So confidence, you need confidence to be able to connect to others. You need to be connected to others to be able to get them to commit, or for yourself to realize that you are committed to a certain cause. All right. And then, of course, through having this, you will gain emotional courage. But of course, working on your emotional courage in the get-go is also very important. Now, jumping up on the next one, great leaders have confidence. Now, let's talk about confidence. Why are leaders confident? Because they're happy that they are leaders. Once you learn and once you adapt and acclimate to becoming a leader, have that characteristic inside of you, you are happy to be a leader. You want to take care of people. You want to make sure that they're mentally ready. And that's another thing. Leaders, they have a tough job, because even though we're looking at them up there and we're like, they're fine. No, they have to take care of your mental health. They have to take care of their own mental health. They have to motivate themselves and motivate you at the same time. So if you want to become a leader, you have to learn to also be self motivated. They also have that can do attitude that really pushes everyone to gravitate into working with them. And that's very important. A lot of people keep on saying, like, no, I can't do it, no, this can't happen. Naysayers can't be leaders, because then you're going to be telling everybody, oh, this is not possible. You got to have a can do attitude. All right, that's very important. And of course, you got to love dealing with challenges. I see leaders that I work with every single day. For example, I work with Kashif every single day. Every single day I see him, he loves dealing with challenges. He wants to, like, sleep up and jump in there. All right, that's very important for anyone that wants to become a true leader. Being okay with jumping and wrestling with the challenges. All right. So confidence in decision making is also super important. Yes, it is important for you to have confidence in your work. And if you're doing really well and that achieving really good things in your work, it helps you become confident in yourself and also what you're doing. But having confidence in decision making is very, very, very important when you want to become a leader, because if you can't make a decision, you'll end up procrastinating. You keep putting that decision away, you're going to put it away, and you're going to be like, okay, I'll think about that later. That's too hard to think about right now. And then you end up avoiding tasks that you are supposed to be doing, that kind of like, thing as well. Now, let's jump into talking about connecting with other people, which is super important, because if you want to be a good leader, you need to connect with the people that you work with, or anybody in that aspect. Because if you want to do some business development, you want to bring some business into the team, you need to be able to connect with them as well. But inside your team, let's talk inside the team. You got to care for your team so that they can do the same, not just to you, but you got to set a culture. How do we develop a culture? A leader and the head leaders of a team are the ones that create a certain culture by creating or imbuing certain kind of, like, characteristics. They they're able to create a culture around that characteristic, and that's super important. And of course, encourage others to disagree with you. Yeah, it sounds weird when you say, like, okay, I want to encourage you to say you don't agree with me. All right, that is basically, it means that you want them to give ideas. One person, a single person in your team, if they disagree with your idea and then come up with a better idea that can make you huge amounts of profit, would you not want that? I would. I want them to disagree with me every time, if that's the case. All right. Constructive ideas and disagreement is very important. And of course, guys, if you have built a team that you trust, all right, if you have built a team that you trust and you know their abilities and you know exactly what they're doing, don't micromanage them. Don't go to every single detail of the work they're doing, especially creative stuff. Don't jump in and keep telling them, like, okay, no, this. Let them do it, see the result, and then work on the result together. Micromanaging in the process destroys a creative, all right, or anything else. But let them know that you trust them. Let them know that you have, proper bond in what they have. And of course, we come to the end, hear their ideas. So allow them to disagree, hear their ideas, don't micromanage, and care for them so that they can know how to care for others and you as well. And know the balance between compassion and containment. We worked on this previously in another presentation. It's important to know when to, when to care and when to put the hammer down. All right, that's very, very important as well. Now, jumping from connection, going into commitment. Now, that's super important. I always tell you guys, always have a vision in the end of the road. What's going to happen in the end? What are you looking for? What is it that you want from what you're doing? All right, that's super important. And understanding the tasks, these little objectives that you need to do to reach that long term, that vision that's waiting for you right in the end. And to do that, You need to find out the steps that you need to achieve each task. Who is going to be set into these steps? Who and what kind of abilities or structure can achieve this for you to be able to finish that task and reach your vision in the right manner, right? Not and now remember also, not taking firm action or making a right decision will make people second guess or second thoughts about your leadership and the kind of work that they're doing. And that is not a good thing. That is poison in every single kind of culture that you put in. If people start doubting you, it's not a good thing. So know when to put, make the action, make the decision, and know exactly what you're doing. And most importantly, remember, decisions are made for the good of the team, for the good of the vision. All right. Always keep that in mind. That is part of being a committed leader. And of course, that will produce better and stronger results and a stronger team. And it will increase your team's trust in you. All right. And not just you, but themselves as well. Now, we talked about that. Now, let's talk about finding emotional leadership. All right, that's our emotional courage in leadership. That's super important, and I think this would be one of the most important of all, because if you have emotional courage, it's easier for you to make a decision, and it's easier for you to find yourself overcoming risks. A lot of the time when we have risk, we tend to like find ourselves cowering into our comfort zone and not wanting to do risk because we fear the outcome. All right, but we have to realize, as I mentioned before in the presentation where we talked about comfort zone, if you stay in the comfort zone for too long, it will become unbearable. You can't stay there for too long because then you're not going to get anything done. You're not going to achieve anything. And eventually that comfort zone becomes a tomb. All right. A tomb for all the dreams and ideas that you ever had. You don't want to have a tomb. You want to have an amazing, amazing life revolving around what your dreams are. All right. Now, it's important to know that people experiencing this lack of emotion, lack of emotional courage, will end up, finding themselves really, really, fearful of all these different kind of risks and things that they have to face. So it's harder for them to make a decision, and to deal with uncomfortable situations. And of course, avoiding risk and feeling vulnerability is something that we need to overcome before jumping into being leaders, because if you can't take risk, or if you constantly feel vulnerable, how are you going to defend your team? How are you going to motivate your team? That's super, super, super important for you guys. All right. So real leadership isn't only about what you say or how you say it or when you say it. All right. It's about experiencing risk, experiencing uncertainty, knowing that you have to wrestle up with discomfort and anything that you're feeling that you can't do. But how can we develop this emotional courage? Now, let's talk about that. So, emotional courage. Basically, what you have to do is that you have to put yourself in that situation that makes you feel that way, that situation or challenge. For example, you want to, let's make it really, really simple. Okay. You want to talk to a girl. All right. You keep continuously telling yourself, no, I don't want to do that. I feel like if what happens if I go to her and then she rejects me? First off, so what? You did it. All right. Put yourself in controlled environments, that you can actually go to that and get into that kind of challenge. Feel that risk, feel that fear or uncomfortable feeling that you're going to be having. And as you go and do that, as you achieve something, as you finally get to say those words to that person, you will realize, hey, it's not that bad. I can actually feel that emotion, but I got it done. It didn't feel as bad as I thought I did, and then you will feel that you are more, how do you say it? You feel encouraged because you've already did it and it was okay. All right. And you'll realize how to react to that emotion as well. So what have you done? You've gotten into what made you fear, made you stressed. You've done it. You've overcome it. You've realized how to react to that, emotion. And eventually, because you're doing more and more and more, and you're realizing that you can do even more, you will take bigger risks. So that's the best part. As you can see, that little brain with the dumbbells up there, you can do bigger bigger things after that. Now, this is something that I really want you guys to pay attention, even if you were like, daydreaming the whole part. I want you to pay attention to this one single box down there, 2190 rule. All right. This isn't just for leadership. This is for anything that you're doing in your life. All right. 21 days for you to develop a habit. So you want to develop a habit. You want to, like, for example, wake up in the morning at 6 or 5 in the morning every day. Then you have to do it for 21 days. It will then become a habit. If you continue it for 90 days, it will then become a lifestyle. So you can't live without it. You're automatically up no matter what. All right. And this is super good because for myself, I usually suggest to other people that if you want to get something done, if you want to get a characteristic embedded into you, or you want to find a habit, it's important to for you to have a deadline, even for tasks. All right, even for tasks. If the task is even for your own self, all right, set a deadline and don't be like, okay, I set a deadline. It comes to the deadline, and then you tell yourself, oh well, I'm the one that put the deadline, so I'm not going to really bother with it anyway. That's not the right way to do it. Okay, if you're doing that, you're just lying to yourself, and that's not a very good thing. So keep in mind 2190 rule. All right, keep that in mind. Now, we've come to the end slide, but let's talk about exactly what leaders are, as we've mentioned throughout the thing. So, leaders are confident, they are connected, they are committed, and they're courageous. And to be able to be a leader, for you to inspire everyone to do something really well, or to do what it takes to overcome a challenge, or to, achieve a vision, you need to have these working for 100% as get into being a leader. All right. So lack of personal development can cost you your personal and, of course, professional life. So not only is it imperative for leaders to be able to constantly make sure that they are doing well and they're developing themselves personally, but also to make sure that their team is. A lot of the time, we realize that new trends come in, new jobs come in, jobs become obsolete. So trends in terms of what we are doing and functions of our workplace tend to become different as well. Well, in order for us to be up to date, we need our leader to be up to date. We need to be able to, have a, and of course, be self-motivated as well. You are in a team right now. You want to become a leader. All right. If you're not self-motivated, you can't become a leader. Because if you, who else is going to motivate you when you become a leader? All right, that's very important. So personal development is a very, very imperative factor to not only the other 3 C's, but also your emotional courage. Now, emotional courage is super important, especially for people who want to avoid conflict. All right, I tend to be one of those person. I don't want to get into conflict. I don't want to, cause too many things. So it's very important for someone like me or anyone that has the same ideology in terms of conflict to learn emotional courage, because sometimes, no matter whether you want it or not, you have to put the hammer down. All right. And I don't know if anybody has watched like Game of Thrones. I'm pretty sure that most of you have. There was a really cool part when one of the Lannisters said, "The lion does not concern itself with the opinions of the sheep." So if someone else outside of your team is giving you a hard time, or putting out some kind of a idea, like don't worry about that. Your team is the most important part. The team is your pack of lions. All right. So always make sure you're in your team, giving to them and taking in the right way. All right. And of course, remember, significant leadership roles are always demanding. They're result driven and they're rigorously organized. So you need to be detailed. You need to be organized at all times, and be at the same time of knowing and learning and becoming better at those 4 C's. It's very important for you to be well equipped to become a leader. All right. So that being said, I'd like to thank you all once again for joining us in Tremendous Thursday. My name is Dante Azarmi. And of course, before I jump out, I want to tell you guys once again, it is important to learn these things to be a leader, but it's also important for you as an individual, for someone that has a vision in life, because we all should have a vision in life that we inspire to become better and better in our own world, and to achieve greater things. We can't just always always be stagnant in our own comfort zone. So learning these things is very important for you to not only become a leader, but also to become your own leader, for you to be able to reach your dreams. All right. That being said, once again, thank you so much for joining Tremendous Thursday. My name is Dante Azarmi, and I'll be seeing you next week for another awesome presentation. That being said, let's jump into the ending of 3T.
方向，谁不曾有迷惘和彷徨？
别怕失望，不会白走一趟，任何事都必须向前看。
找几个搭档，建个避风港，陪你哭，陪你笑，陪你闯荡。就算逆风拼命去抵抗，我们一定越战越强。不要害怕所谓的困难，情愿会受伤，谁甘心一辈子都平凡？横冲直撞，难免失去方向，谁不曾有迷惘和彷徨？
别怕失望，不会白走一趟，任何事都必须向前看。
找几个搭档，建个避风港，陪你哭，陪你笑，陪你闯荡。就算逆风拼命去抵抗，我们一定越战越强。不要害怕所谓的困难，情愿会受伤，最甘心一辈子都平凡。
迎着风霜，必须勇敢和心中的梦想
同赢击败，
用尽力量，肩并肩大戦场，一生同行。
就算逆风拼命去抵抗，我们一定越战越强。不要害怕所谓的困难，情愿会受伤，谁甘心一辈子都平凡？就算逆风拼命去抵抗，我们一定越战越强。不要害怕所谓的困难，情愿会受伤，谁甘心一辈子